Hiya! As you can see, we've changed colour. I've actually got round to doing the camping mat thing. I think they're actually gym mats. They weren't very expensive. I actually cut all the shapes out with a nice little pair of blunt scissors. And as you can see, you can tell, can't you? Oh, sharp as me protection. It's one of those jobs whereas you've got to take your time. But I didn't. I just want to go out and play my radio control car. Anyhow, so I've actually just gone through it all as quick as possible. And what I found is when you paint onto these, I think it's EVA foam, that just dust the colour on. Because where I put the colour on thick, it just started cracking and messing up. And also, if you're going to buy the mats off the internet, double check that they're nice and smooth. Mine had a crinkled side and a smooth side. I thought, oh, that'll be fine. I'll just use the smooth side. But the crinkles come the way through. You know them like nice crinkle chips you used to have as a kid. Well, the other side's a bit like that. And it just shows through. But anyhow, I've actually just completed it to a certain extent. But I still feel it should have a nice sign here saying Richard Walton, age 5. Hey, have I got a treat for you guys? Are there any fans of Farscape out there? Yep, you guessed it. Twiggy here is related to Rigel. What was it again? Second cousin twice removed. How do you work that out? Because you call him Uncle Rigel. I'm not building a big hoverboard so you can just hover around. You can use these. Honestly. There's nothing happening. No, I'm not going to pull your paw. What, you're going to go watch YouTube? Alright, I'll go watch your YouTube then. What are you watching anyway? Smuggler's Room. Must admit that is awesome. Between you, me and the gatepost, if you want to know how to do this stuff properly, the Smuggler's Room and Rebel Base, you can tell that their stuff will even look awesome close up. I'm not getting anybody close to this. In fact, if anybody comes around and have a look at it, I'm saying, you can see it through the window. You don't have to come in. What are you on about? And if they insist on coming in, I'm either going to get them drunk first or throw sand in the face. Yeah, there's my Star Wars room. Have a quick nosy now. Oh, I'm going to go in, wash my face. I'll teach him. I'm more of your pound stretcher, you know, home bargains, Star Wars DIY. And when I say DIY, I mean destroy it yourself. Sorry if my camera works a bit rubbish, but I'm just going back to hand and just binning my selfie stick. What it was, I got my selfie stick for about £8.50. I perhaps should have had a bigger budget, but I'm tight as a drum, I am. Another boo-boo I made. When I got really excited about trying to make it look Star Warsy and put stuff on my wall, I thought, oh, I'm going to have to take it off again now to paint it, aren't I? So a little bit more forward planning and not just so gun-ho like I am. Here's my first bit of painting. I did want to do the main chunk of stuff before I started painting, but as usual I got a bit excited and I thought I've got to get some colour out just to keep that thirst going, to keep hammering stuff. This is just out of polystyrene. It was a protective cover when a cooker gets delivered. So I grabbed that. I've put a little coat of PVA on it. And I haven't quite hidden the fact as it's polystyrene. But I found that these paint tin lids actually fit nicely on. So I'm actually going to get another paint tin lid on there eventually. I just need to buy some paint something, finish it all off, and then nick the lid. This is mainly airbrushed. I put the main colour on with some big sprays, masked off, sprayed a bit of, I think it's furniture paint on that. Well, listen to me, Harold, being grown up. You might learn something. This is just a hose pipe. The lid has been airbrushed, the main colours, and then I just lighten the colour. And a little tip that I found, if you do just want to lighten the colour, don't put white in because it bleaches it. I use flesh colour. I've actually done some of these scratches with flesh colour as well, and it looks okay. Well, so the bloke round the corner told me. And then some of these scratches, these dark scratches, if you are going to use black, just add a little bit of dark brown in just to subtle them out. And I've done these by painting a piece of sandpaper, and then you can get a little straight scratch and you just put the sandpaper on. I only use sandpaper because normal paper will just be a bit too flimsy, so a little bit of paper that can hold its own weight, and then just roll it on. It gives you some nice little straight scratches, because with a brush it can be quite awkward. Well, hey, happy haircut. I'm gonna have to do some narration on the next one, because I messed up on my camera, you know, when you get the pause and the record and all that mixed up. So anyway, hold on to your butts. Wow, look at that. That is nice. Yeah, basically a load of grey primer, put on nice and thick, and then I've just started dusting on stuff with an airbrush. And then what I do is sometimes you can sort of get a little bit excited and the stains look a little bit too dark, and I just like to diffuse it with a bit of Scotch-Brite, a bit of really fine sandpaper. As you can see this idiot doing now, it's just sort of bit on, take it off, and it just gives you a nice little natural stain look. Wow. Who'd waste money going to the zoo when you can just watch this? Oh, we're doing a bit more now. Things you see when you haven't got a gun. Oh, a bit down there, yeah. Oh yeah, and if you do sort of, it does look a bit dark, I just like to diffuse it with the actual colour that I started with, and you can just spray it on and it just irons it out and makes it look nicely natural-ish. As you can see, there's still plenty to do. I've done a little bit of airbrushing on the bench just to make it nice and colourful, and just to darken around the edges to try and hide the fact as I've cut them all out with a pair of blunt scissors, and it's shocking. But I'm going to put some tubes all at the top. There's plenty of work to be done, I must admit, and I am really getting sort of excited about bringing me mannequins in, because, well, my suits may as well go on mannequins, because like I said before, I don't do much tripping anymore. But there was just one time, right, the group was growing really well. We were all getting excited, people were getting into building costumes, and my mate built this awesome Boba Fett costume. He's done this kind of thing for a job, sculpted, designed, painted, for a very big firm, so he knows his onions. So as the group was growing, we were all getting out there having fun, and his wife noticed us having a lot of fun. She thought, right, I think I'll join him because it does look really good fun. So he built her a lovely bush costume. Am I saying it right? Bush. Joined us, and the pair of them looked really cool together. You know, and he was nice for a female to be in the group. But after a couple of times, the suits just become redundant. It was just mainly us lads having a laugh, a bit of banter. But anyhow, as the suit was gathering a bit of dust, a member of the group thought, oh, I think I'll have a go at that. Now, just for people's immunity, let's call this guy Dave. Let's face it, if ever you forget a guy's name, you may as well just guess Dave, is it? Because you've got at least 30 or 40% of getting it right, haven't you? Because, you know, I don't want to go chucking names around, you know, because copyright. There might be some parts of stories that people are ashamed of. Anyhow, so Dave said, oh, why don't I wear the bush costume? And now, this is in the days before non-gender was cool. I mean that's another thing, non-gender. I mean, the youth of today think they invented non-gender, didn't they? I've got an Action Man in my loft from about late 60s. Nothing. That's got to be the first non-gender, really, hasn't it? Dave come up with the excuse as, well, as the story goes, didn't Princess Leia pinch that suit off a bounty hunter? I could play the bounty hunter that Princess Leia pinched the suit off. Well, of course, everybody's going to click into that, aren't they? Not. So we thought we'll give it a trial. Now, I will say, Dave took to wearing heeled boots rather quickly. In fact, disturbingly quickly. And it wasn't long before it was a case of So obviously people aren't going to get the fact, oh, that's the bounty hunter that Princess Leia nicked the suit off while he was getting changed in the showers. No, obviously everyone's going to think it's Princess Leia, aren't they? Because Dave started getting the walk. So you know what's going to happen, don't you? It wasn't long before this big gentleman, can I have a picture? Dave was so the big guy comes down, puts his arm round. Oh, a bit cold for the metal bikini today, is it? Dave. I hope a few of you out there agree with me, like, there's no foul, is there? Because when that guy looks at his favourite picture that he's got with his favourite character, as long as he sees this and not this. Yeah, we're all getting there, it's taking shape, still plenty to do, and like I said before, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I'm getting quite excited. This doesn't take much for me, and I've got a couple of models. My background is making models. I've always made me little tanks and put my little soldiers on. Yeah, I know I've got a model of you, a little small version, and I don't want to paint. And I have got some nice Star Wars models, so I'm actually going to bring them into the man cave, and I'll perhaps do a blog on them and explain how I've done them. I've got a nice big model of 2 biker scouts, and I call it, it was at this time TB1971, knew he'd messed up. And when you see it, you'll perhaps know why I've called it that. It did actually end up in Airfix magazine when I displayed it somewhere, but they got my name wrong. They said, well, this lovely piece by Richard Wood. Sounds like I should be making films for the top shelf, doesn't it? As I bring them in, I think I'll do a blog and just explain if anyone's interested on how I've done them, bending and making bits of plastic and hammering stuff. No, I don't want to paint. You know what happened last time? I just want to actually get some work done now, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, and I've got a nice big model of the Millennium Falcon, and that's going to go over there. I've run some wires down, that's actually got some working lights, and that's hopefully just going to go over that side of the arch. And I'll do a bit of a blog on that, if anybody's interested in, I don't know, what paints, colours I've used, and what, sort of thing. But then again, when you see it, you might think, I don't know who's done that. No, I don't want to paint, honestly. I'm talking to my couple of subscribers. I mean, not that I'm interested. Anyway, what have you actually got? What's your poison? Lager. What do you think I am? Some little Mary? Oh, it's like what? I'd just like to end the blog there. Not because the usual. I've got a few little irons and other fires. At the moment, me and a few of the boys are actually working on a no-budget World War II werewolf film. There is a trailer for it on YouTube called World War Wolf.
Yeah, it's looking better.
Looks like a nasty pig, doesn't it?
Let's go again then. Yeah, move your head a bit, Rich.
Yeah, like an orca.
Yeah, just move your head a bit more, like sort of right to left.
When you're looking at it, you've got to look scared, but it looks like a f***ing orc with learning difficulties.
Right, you ready? Or a wolf with learning
Right,
difficulties.
oh, serious. Oh.
Guys, start yourselves.
Now, I've shown that clip for a reason. I'm afraid it is a sad reason. The chap who ruined that take for about the third or fourth time was the famous Nick Bradshaw. I'm afraid we have lost him. I only thought it fair to give the guy a shout out because he's been a very good friend for many years. Well, he pretended to be my friend anyway. In fact, sometimes he didn't even pretend to be my friend. He was a member of the crew and he will be sorely missed. He was giving me loads of advice on these blogs, for instance, like, keep it shorter, will you? And I do apologise, Nick. I have not got the budget for have a big, nice, glowy, ready-brek version of you right here. But, you know, like in the end of Return of the Jedi. And one thing I did notice, last time I watched Return of the Jedi, that Anakin Skywalker has gone back to being a young guy. What's that all about? You're just making the dark side look even more appealing, aren't you? I mean, imagine if a canvasser come knocking on the door. You know, you're a young, budding Jedi. You know, you've got the sweet young guy who's, yeah, he's all right, a bit of a laugh, right, you know. But, knock, knock, knock. Would you like to turn to the dark side? Well, no, I don't really. What? You can have a nice red lightsaber. No, yeah, you can have bent ones, you can have sword-looking ones, anything you want. Hey, right, that does sound nice. You know, well, I like the colour red. And we've got a right big, lovely Death Star. We've got massive corridors, and we've got a proper canteen, and we've got toilets that flush really well. Because imagine what the toilets are like on the Death Star. I mean, you know, when you're going on holiday, and you've been on the plane, you've perhaps drank a bit too much. So basically, you need to go to the toilet, don't you? And if you notice those flushes, when you press that button, it's like, wow! If I was sitting on that at that point in time, that would just pull my intestines straight out of my balloon knot. So you imagine, with the vacuum of space, what the toilets or the flush would be like on the Death Star. And I would not be a tradesman on the Death Star, not for love nor money. It's bonkers. Imagine if you got that dreaded call like Lord Vader's toilet's not flushing properly, so you think, oh no, I hope he's not in. So you go around there, you know, you've used a push fit just for speed, and then it's still leaking, and Vader's on the bridge, bless him, and he gets a cack attack. So he's going to be like, boom, straight back, innit? And you're like, no, I haven't finished it yet, it's still leaking. But honestly, Lord Vader, I've filled the system, so you've got one flush. Back kills me. The canvasser for the dark side gives you the inside, you know, like sort of, but towards the end, if you do sort of feel a bit of a tremor in the force and you think, things aren't looking too good, just repent and you can go back to being young again. So really, in a way, it's no wonder that that sweet old guy, Obi-Wan Kenobi or Ben, he was like a coiled spring, wasn't he? No wonder he was chopping people's arms off in pubs when they looked at him sideways. Because he stayed to the light side, which you think, oh, that's good, what a nice guy. But when he becomes a 70s glowworm, that's it, he's an old guy. Whereas Anakin changes young. You're just making the dark side look ace. And then, supposing you turn to the dark side when you were 7-year-old, that means you're going to be a little glow-in-the-dark 7-year-old creepy kid. It'll be worse than that film Pet Sematary. I mean, I had nightmares with that, you know, that little kid going around chopping the backs of people's ankles. So if you turn to the dark side when you're 7, and then obviously you read all the small print and you know that when you repent, Oh, you'll go back to where you were before you come. So yeah, you come with us, have your red lightsaber, have your nice big shiny corridors, proper canteen, lovely clean ace flushing toilets, and then just repent at the end, you know, just say, oh God, I was very easily led, oh I'm a bugger, I am, aren't I? Bang, back to being a kid again. Awesome. What was he on about now? Oh, yeah, sorry, Nick. He'd understand, he knows what I'm like. Anyway, like I've warned you all before, it gets no better. And be nice to each other. Ta-ra. Yeah, I will be honest with you guys. Shut up! I will... Winston! Shut up! Yes. Yes.